We decided to do an online survey, primarily because COVID seemed to make that the most reasonable way to try to go about this. And we were able to start the survey at the end of October, ran it through about the 7th of January. And the goal was to just take the temperature, if you will, of the community and try to get an idea of where they were on some of these topics. But what was really important to me, and what I tried to underscore for the board when we went through this, is that what we were able to see are definite trends. It was pretty clear that the community was very much together on how they viewed the arts in this area. The other thing that was very exciting is that the responses we were getting from the community were pretty much in line with the kinds of things our board has been talking about all along, because that meant, yes, we're headed in the right direction, and that's really important. And it was important, and the board felt it was very important that we were all thinking about things in the same way. A couple of the things that really were a surprise, if you will. How are people getting their information? Basically from online resources. Very few print, very, very few print. Emails from organizations, online information from Facebook and the Talbot Spy, the number 1, 2, and 3. There you go. So I think that gives us a good sense of how we can advise our organizations, particularly our smaller organizations, in terms of putting information out there. Many of these organizations have limited resources, and when we talk to them about an effective Facebook page or effective online communication, they sort of aren't too sure that this is the way they want to go. I think now we can say to them, look, here's the data, this is definitely what you should be doing. So I think that was something that was important for us. The other area, again, very much in line with what the board was thinking, has to do with what individual groups, where do you want to see the money spent that we have? And I'm very happy to say children, youth, young adults, and low-income communities. One of the things that we are going to be challenged by in the future is making sure that we have the resources to support the arts community the way it needs to be supported here. Or we have sort of that top list, if you will, that are very seasoned organizations, that are financially very sound organizations, and there's a handful of those. And then we have the next level that bring a marvelous arts to the community and mean so much to people who live here, who participate in those, or their children participate, or their grandchildren participate. Those are the groups that I'm really concerned about moving forward. To think about ourselves not just as a granting organization, but really a service organization. So some of the questions, some of the conversations I have during the week tend to be about things like that. Can you help us find, or do you know where? So we're going to spend more time moving forward thinking about how we can become sort of like a repository for resources in some ways. What art scholarships are out there? Just those kinds of things. Now, it's a bit of a shift from what we've been doing, and it's time consuming, but I think the board is very willing to take some of these projects on, if you will. And then, of course, it's a continual flow of information. So it's not like you do it and it's one and done, but you have to be committed to keeping it up. But I think those are the kinds of resources and the benefits that we want to bring to the community and are prepared to bring to the community.